We're joined right now by the 1975 from Manchester, England, a four-piece alternative rock band that consists of George on drums, Ross on bass, Adam on guitar, and joining us right now, the vocalist of the group, Matty Healy. Welcome to We Found New Music, Matty.
Thank you for having me.
You're on the East Coast right now?
Yeah, that's right. Where am I? Let me think. I'm in Baltimore today. I'm in Baltimore of the million places I've been this year. We've got a show out here, and then we play New York City tomorrow, and we fly home to finish up this year, which has been kind of insane, really.
It's been fantastic, and you've received a lot of positive praise. After touring all over the world, both festivals and venues, you recently wrapped up your first U.S. headline tour with Linus Young. What was the experience like on your first U.S. headline tour?
Well, it was amazing. I mean, I think that it was our first time that we'd ever been able to do proper production. We had a run of shows back in March, but they were kind of small, and we toured with the neighborhood before, so we kind of got familiar with America, which got us really excited to kind of come over and really kind of make a statement with our shows. We really enjoyed that tour. I think that it just kind of gave us a taste for things to come, because we're a very ambitious band, and I think when you're ambitious, you're slightly harbored by it, whether it be finance or whatever. But next year, I think that we've got a huge tour planned, and it's already set. Shows are selling out. It's crazy.
Were there any notable cities or venues that you want to head back to?
Well, there's so many. I mean, you get so surprised by so many. I've had just as much fun with Salt Lake City as I have in New York City. The show was amazing when we played there. I always love playing Philadelphia. We always have a lot of fun in Virginia. And you know what? I think that if you're playing good music to people that are really, really investing in it, you should get a good reaction most places you go, and we tend to have fun pretty much every night. So I'm very humbled by that.
You opened for the Rolling Stones at Hyde Park. What was that like for you?
Well, I mean, kind of how you imagine. It was ridiculous. I think it was quite nerve-wracking. I think, but when you're on stage at those kind of things, you're not really thinking, oh, I need to consume this moment and kind of take it in for what it is. You're thinking that I've got a job to do, I've got a set to do. But there was that kind of bizarre paradox where I looked to my right and I saw Mick Jagger, who was kind of dancing around to Chocolate. And then I looked to the front and I saw my dad, and I looked behind me and I saw, our banner. And it was a real moment where I realized how far things had come, and 10 years of dreaming and then culminating in that moment. It's quite intense.
Right. Are the Rolling Stones a huge influence for you?
I think they are for everybody. I mean, they influence pop culture on such a level. And I think the idea of a white band being seduced by black American music and culture and then reproducing it, I mean, I think the Stones are kind of the ultimate testament to that idea, and it's something that, we're inspired by black American music mainly. So I think that, to say that the Stones weren't an influence would be a lie.
As far as influences go, where else do you reach for influences?
Oh, well, I mean, I suppose that it's so all-encompassing, new music. I mean, I grew up listening to, soul music, like Al Green and Marvin Gaye and Wilson Pickett and people like that, and that then informed my later kind of musical influences, like kind of 90s R&B, and then, I don't know, I think that we spent a lot of time as a kind of ambient band, exploring music kind of like Brian Eno and stuff like that. But I don't really know. I think that we're a very generationally defined band. We create music in the same way that we consume it. And it's because we're from this generation where, there's this non-linear consumption of music and all sorts of media. And I think we're kind of a reflection of that. And that reflects itself in the way that our music is, the way that we style ourselves or maybe don't style ourselves.
You recently turned down a few tours with Rhianna, 30 Seconds to Mars, Arctic Monkeys. Why have you decided to pass at this time on those bands and be so selective lately?
Well, because everything happened for us so quickly that we needed to make sure that we were investing in the relationships that actually mattered, and that was with our fans, not with fellow big bands and pop stars, you know. We couldn't even put on enough shows for the demand of tickets there was this year. Do you know what I mean? We've ended up doing 3 nights at Brixton Academy, like 3 nights at Manchester Academy and a night at the Royal Albert Hall. And that's all because ticket sales have been so backed up for the whole year. So for us to go on and prioritise people who were going to discover us at a Rhianna concert over the people who had created the delirious rise that we were going through, that would be unfair, you know. So we had to prioritise our fans. And we wanted to go and play shows to the people who wanted to hear our music.
Absolutely.
And it's not to say that we don't want to play with those fans. I'm sure we will do. But no, not right now, because we've had too many shows to do, basically.
Mm-hmm. You've mentioned the completion of your new album has split your life in two, bookending the first period of your life. Tell us about this transition and what it means for the band.
I don't really know. It's something I'm kind of trying to figure out at the moment. I think we never meant for this to happen. Where you get subconsciously used to the idea of creating music for yourself, but not actually letting anyone else hear it properly. When you've been in the band for like 10 years, we just kind of used to work jobs and make music for fun. And now all of the people have heard it and make judgments on it. It's difficult not to let it change you, kind of creatively and artistically. So I think all I'm trying to do is maintain the honesty and maintain that kind of introspection and let that be the most important thing. I think that's what I'm trying to do. But, you know, I wasn't geared up for all of this. I wasn't really ready for it all. We'll just see what happens.
So now you have been playing music with the same guys since you were 14. What does that mean to you?
I suppose it means a lot of things, you know. Like, it means that it's not really something that we do, this band, as pretentious as it may sound. This isn't like an activity of ours. This is kind of who we are. And we've kind of come to realise that because it's all we've ever really worked towards. And I think that it provides a foundation for us to kind of carry on and be comfortable because we're so aware of each other's kind of abilities, each other's downfalls. It means that we can just keep making music for the 4 of us because that's why we did it. Because when you're 14, you start anything at 14, that's just for fun. And we've always kind of kept that. So I think we should be all right if that is our mantra.
What were some of the other band names and styles that you went through before you eventually agreed on the 1975?
Well, there was loads. There was a band called Drive Like I for a while. And I think we were just kind of some weird... Well, there was loads of stuff. The stuff we recorded was kind of like ambient pop music, I suppose. And it's quite experimental and it went kind of quite post-rock. And then when we started the Big Sleep, that was kind of the foundations of the 1975 and everything, all of that kind of 80s pop meets shoegaze meets R&B that all started to come into fruition. And we started out as a punk band, but that was when we were 13. So,
do you feel comfortable in your current style?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I'm definitely comfortable where I am.
You're known for your melancholic black and white visual aesthetic. Tell us about your current single, Girls, and the music video, which is complete with flashy pop production and over-the-top female models. Could be compared to Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines, but I know that's probably not what you're going for.
I suppose it kind of was. I think it was we were slightly sending up the idea of all of these new kind of hipster videos that just have kind of, you know, indulging kind of ironic imagery just flashed out through all of it. It's kind of like just, you know, visual porn. And I think that I don't know, with that video, everybody on the video, on the sex video, had started kind of saying, because it was in colour, oh, you know, they're conforming to a major label, or et cetera, you know. And I think that we got obsessed with the idea of people thinking that we kind of conform to a major label, so we made a video about it. We made a video about the fact that the whole idea of music videos and the fact that we're now pop stars is ridiculous. And we just wanted to make a tongue-in-cheek video about who cares whether it's in colour, who cares what anything kind of is, it doesn't really matter. And I think we were just kind of having fun.
What's the next step for the 1975? Has your vision changed at all?
I don't know, my vision changes all the time. And I think that's what kind of defines the records. There's a big polarity in both stylistics and sound. And I think that for now we've just got to tour the world for the next 12 months. I mean, we're on tour until December, and then we go straight back in the studio to do the next record. So we'll just let that evolve over the next year and see where we are in 2015.
Well, you seem to really love what you're doing, which is essentially why you're working so hard at it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Matty, and we will continue to follow you on the way.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Take care.